us address an unfiltered reality. The statistical probability indicates you will likely never work as a high-tier technology worker at a marquee FANG company or manage operations from a Fortune 500 corporate suite. Those doors will slam shut before you even approach them. Modern culture revolves around the expectation of the elite dream, graduating and stepping into a high-powered role on Wall Street or in a prestigious consultancy. But the objective truth is that a functional human society fundamentally requires regular people to perform the foundational physical jobs that keep the population safely housed, are consistently fed, and physically secure. This creates a structural tension. No matter how you rationalize it, an office job making six figures your first year after university is highly desirable than performing demanding road construction work in the extreme heat of Arizona for $20 an hour. Civilization needs skilled tradesmen exponentially more than it needs another entry-level McKinsey strategist. Yet human preference aggressively fights this mathematical reality. Modern institutions maintain a complex array of incentives and cultural narratives designed to pretend this economic preference is not true, creating a massive artificial vacuum. If you analyze the recruitment channels, thousands of highly educated applicants are competing fiercely for the exact same remote desktop roles, processing endless loops of digital applications. This environment creates a profound sense of isolation, as actual career progression stalls out into a repetitive cycle of digital processing. This friction isn't just a cultural observation. It is a documented structural breakdown tracked by historical complexity scientists. These researchers use a mathematical model to explain this labor breakdown. It is a macro-sociological theory known as elite overproduction. Occupational roles in human societies naturally form a strict vertical pyramid structure. A healthy economy requires vastly more skilled tradesmen, nurses, and laborers at the base. Elite administrative positions at the peak exist solely to oversee and manage the manual output of those frontline workers. The higher you travel up this socioeconomic structure, the fewer actual human bodies are mechanically required to execute those specialized roles. We produce these high-tier qualified workers through a rigid mechanical pipeline, exactly like a factory mass-producing commercial vehicles. A modern student goes through a mandatory multi-decade pipeline of institutional schooling, designed to output a credentialed individual trained to create complex pivot tables in Excel. There is a singular structural difference here. A raw lump of steel lacks personal consciousness. It does not care if it is engineered into a luxury Bentley or a basic utility vehicle. Human beings, however, possess consciousness. When presented with a choice, they will naturally and aggressively opt for the highest prestige careers available in the market. By funneling an entire generation into the pursuit of elite credentials while actively discouraging manual roles, the educational pipeline has systemically produced a massive oversupply of top-tier administrators. This imbalance has created a broken economic environment where talent and training are misallocated on a massive scale. Look at this layout. We have millions of applicants qualified to synergistically analyze cloud marketing data, yet everyday citizens face extreme difficulty finding a local technician to fix a basic plumbing emergency. We have trained far too many individuals to fill non-essential elite roles, leaving the fundamental operational sectors of society dangerously understaffed. This structural failure extracts an immense financial toll on multiple layers of the economy, beginning with the escalating cost of higher education. The financial burden of this imbalance exceeds the trillions of dollars in student loan debt held by young graduates entering corporate cubicle farms. The ultimate cost of elite overproduction is the physical breakdown of the societal framework itself, as its foundational base is starved of necessary human capital. Until modern institutions accept the mathematical reality of the labor pyramid, society will continue paying for a mechanical pipeline of elite credentials, while the physical foundation beneath us quietly fails. For decades, society presented a very clear contract. Obtain a university degree, and you secure access to a prestigious, comfortable career. Today, that cultural promise has entirely fractured under the weight of its own supply. To understand how the math broke, we have to look at the official historical data published by the United States Census Bureau. In 1960, the total percentage of the domestic population holding a college degree stood at exactly 7.7%. It was a rare, highly optimized achievement. This area chart visualizes the dramatic expansion, pushing the credentialed class to 37.7% of the population. When this chart isolates the active workforce, labor statistics show only 62. It has become nothing more than the bare minimum credential required to secure basic entry-level employment. To compensate for this credential inflation, individuals are reacting predictably. They are taking on massive amounts of additional student debt to secure advanced master's degrees, simply trying to prove their elite capability in an overcrowded applicant pool. This dual line graph plots the result of that scramble. The first trajectory scales exponentially upward, capturing the systemic price of tuition. The second line tracks the opposing reality, the actively crashing real-world economic value of the degree itself. At the end of that expensive educational pipeline sits a strict mathematical limit. There are only a finite number of white-collar positions that can be physically executed in a suit and tie inside downtown commercial office buildings. Millions of highly paper-qualified individuals are left mathematically stranded. They absorb low base pay and minimal benefits in casual employment sectors, primarily because admitting the reality of their situation requires acknowledging that their expensive education yielded a negative return. While the corporate applicant pool overflows, a massive labor inversion is quietly dictating the actual economy. Right now, a significant number of blue-collar trade occupations offer vastly higher financial compensation and better long-term wage growth than mid-level administrative roles. It is pure supply and demand. There is a critical systemic shortage of non-elite manual workers. Because physical infrastructure requires human builders, skilled tradesmen hold immense structural negotiating power within the free market. Compare that raw leverage to an advanced PhD graduate who is currently forced to apply for a single, heavily crowded research associate position alongside hundreds of equally qualified peers. Despite these undeniable market dynamics, a massive cultural blind spot dictates our behavior. The prevailing cultural narrative still falsely insists that an individual sitting behind a corporate desk possesses higher social status than a professional working masterfully with their hands. Given the choice, the workforce repeatedly chooses cultural ego over economic logic. So they continue to crowd into commercial office buildings, driving extreme underemployment and suppressing their own earning potential. This structural imbalance bleeds directly into the macroeconomy. This precise labor crisis is actively accelerating the ongoing national housing shortage. The base cost of engineering and framing new residential housing developments has skyrocketed. The construction sector simply lacks the required volume of skilled tradesmen to meet baseline consumer demand for new homes. The cultural avoidance of physical labor directly starves the infrastructure economy. By refusing to supply the workers needed to build physical assets, we inherently drive up the baseline cost of real estate, making everyday life unaffordable. This creates a brutal feedback loop. Because residential real estate has become so aggressively expensive, young graduates are forced to compete harder for elite corporate salaries just to afford basic rent. The desperation for white-collar compensation pulls even more capable people away from the physical trades. This starves the construction industry of the exact labor it desperately needs to build more houses and lower those very same living prices. Meanwhile, corporate entities are actively replacing variable labor costs with highly efficient capital equipment. The rapid integration of highly advanced, efficient automation systems is continuously suppressing the market value of basic human analytical work. Everyday citizens are trapped on a corporate treadmill that keeps speeding up. They are running themselves into massive debt, fighting for devalued desk jobs just to survive a housing market that their own collective career choices broke. Sociologists identify this exact systemic accumulation of underemployed, overeducated individuals as elite overproduction. It functions exactly like dead, dry underbrush accumulating in an unmanaged forest ecosystem. The deadwood doesn't cause a crisis by itself while conditions are stable, but the moment an unexpected economic shock hits the system, it provides the perfect, highly combustible fuel for a massive structural fire. History tracks this pattern with extreme precision. Data indicates that similar periods of elite overproduction directly preceded the internal fracturing of the late Roman Empire. It was the identical structural condition that immediately preceded the destructive French Wars of Religion and the collapse of multiple highly stable Chinese dynasties. This massive inversion of labor value is actively unfolding right now. Surviving this long-term structural transition requires absolute, undeniable clarity. You must abandon cultural ego, take complete personal accountability for your career trajectory, and understand the core macroeconomic principles that dictate where actual value lies in an over-credentialed economy.